So, Luke.
Yes.
We all knew that the relationship between Mermaid Ken and Mermaid Barbie would not go so smoothly later on when Barbie took back the Constitution, and it became a game of cyanide pills and motorbike chases, as it always is. I'm making a joke on the fact that John Cena and Dua Lipa played a couple in Barbie. There you go. And now they're in this movie.
And not just bike chases and all. Espionage.
Okay, so please hold while I remove the stick from my ass that makes me apparently hate this movie, or having to hate this movie. Let me just get that out of there. Ugh.
Oh God, that feels so good.
and like a lot of the critical reviews of this movie, this stick is full of shit. So, Argylle. Yeah, we're here to talk about a movie. Movies and TV. So when you hear that movie is Argylle. Argylle is directed by Matthew Vaughn, who has made Layer Cake, awesome. Stardust, underrated. Kick-Ass, the best fucking movie. I agree with the fireworks. Kick-Ass does deserve those fireworks.
There you go.
X-Men First Class, really good movie. Kingsman, the Secret Service, awesome. Kingsman, the Golden Circle, underrated.
Not bad.
The Kingsman, it was okay.
I liked it. I liked it.
Fine. It had its moments. It wasn't. I'd say it's probably.
But you gotta admit though, dude, the third act of the Kingsman, awesome.
Yeah, I agree with you on that one.
The third act is awesome.
The third act is kind of what saved that movie for me.
Fair.
What? Okay. Never mind. So Argylle is, directed by Matthew Vaughn. It is not based on the books, Argylle, but it is based on the novels by Ellie Conway, Taylor Swift. What? No. Yeah, apparently these books are written by Taylor Swift. This is news to me. But it's not based on the books. It is based on the author of the books, and it's kind of also based on the books, at least the characters. So, and it's written by Jason. Oh my God, Jason Fucks. That's actually his name. You know what that means? We gotta play this.
Wait, who's this? Fred Fox? Fred Fox? Fred Fox? Fred Fox! Oh my God, Fred Fox! Oh my God, Fred Fox! Oh, Fred Fox!
Yep. Thanks, Angry Video Game Nerd. His name is Jason Fox. Actually, it's probably Fuchs, but we're just gonna call him Jason Fox because it's funny. So, Argylle. Now, I know I put the spoiler tag on there. It's not because it's the Angry Grant show. It's because there's something we need to talk about. One thing that requires spoilers. So, first and foremost, Argylle, we begin the story with the sultry sounds of Barry White. And he's not scoring some supernatural hanky-panky like he was in Dark Shadows with this song. Now he's using it for a dance number. Those are Agent Argylle, played by Henry Cavill, and LaGrange? Is that what her name was?
Yeah, LaGrange.
Femme fatale named LaGrange, played by Miss Sexy Awesomeness that is Dua Lipa.
Ever so lovely Dua Lipa.
God, don't steal my woman, Ponto. You can have Sydney Sweeney.
All right, yeah.
Anyways.
Yes.
Oh,
so,
wait,
sorry,
Mike has dibs on Sydney.
Hold on 1 second. 1 second. I just want to say it. Sorry, Mike. Sweeney's mine.
Oh, by the way, excuse me, Mr. Zaslav. Make the Harley Quinn and Poison Ivy movie with Margot Robbie and Dua Lipa, you bastard. Make it.
Bring it.
God damn it. Make that movie. Fuck.
Actually, hey, Grant, I know what movie you wanted. So, Zaslav, release Coyote v. Acme, cowards.
Yep, I agree.
Bingo.
Anywho, they are making the sexy dance, and seems to be hitting it off just fine, but it turns out Miss LaGrange is not who she appears to be, and a chase ensues, a cyanide pill is taken, and you're kind of thinking, wow, this dialogue is awfully boilerplate. This doesn't seem realistic. And then you realize it isn't. It is the writing of an author named Ellie Conway, played by Bryce Dallas Howard. She is the author of 4 going on 5 novels in a series called Argylle about a super spy. And she's struggling to write the final chapter of book 5. And she's a bit of an agoraphobe, bit afraid of everything, much to the chagrin of her mother, played by Catherine O'Hara. And then, wouldn't you know it, she's on a train, she encounters a fan, seemingly, a scraggly dude played by Sam Rockwell. Turns out he's not a fan, he's a spy, for real, and turns out she's very prescient in her predictions, and a lot of evil spies want to know how she does it, and eventually a conspiracy begins that is tied to this author, and from there, twist-em-a-fuck ensues as Matthew Vaughn does his Matthew Vaughn thing, and it's kind of awesome. So I think we shouldn't stop beating around the bush. I kind of fucking love this movie. I don't understand.
I'm gonna flat out say it. I loved it.
Me too. I don't know why
I loved it.
Are hating this so much. I genuinely don't.
I want to quote this here for a second. I know I'm slightly paraphrasing. My buddy Tyler, shout out to Mind of a Nerd, by the way. I want to shout him out for this. Said that, do you guys not know what, like, I know I'm paraphrasing this, but do you guys not know what you're getting into when you're watching a silly, dumb action movie directed by the guy who made Kingsman and Kick-Ass, Matthew Vaughn?
And the thing is that I think that there's become this backlash of latter-day Matthew Vaughn. Here's the thing, I'm going to say a truth that I know people don't want to hear. We're never going to get another movie like Kick-Ass. That was a shot from the blue. It was a movie that was underground and punky and unique. None of the studios wanted it. It became a sleeper hit because it was a great movie, and people saw it, and it was a movie that Matthew Vaughn made from the ground up that really had his sensibility. Studio movies with his label on it are not going to have that same punky abandon. They're just not, especially $200 million blockbusters like Argylle. That being said, you know you're watching a Matthew Vaughn movie in every frame of this movie. The way he shoots action, the sensibility of it. It's a little toned down. The movie's PG-13. It doesn't quite have the raw edge of even Kingsman. There's no anal sex jokes in this. Or
but then again, though, for the type of movie that this is, it doesn't necessarily need to be. But again, that's besides the point.
It doesn't. But what I love about this movie is there are still traces of that. And I can't help but quote Quentin Tarantino's review of one of my favorite movies that everybody hates. I can't show you the poster, it's on my wall. The Lone Ranger, which is a freaking dance fight scene with colored smoke, shootout in a hallway, a freaking ice skating on oil shootout sequence. Are you not entertained?
This blew my mind.
You mad? It's stupid, but it's fun.
If you guys want, okay. In some ways, Argylle can be considered somewhat of a B movie, but it's with a big budget. But it's Matthew Vaughn knows what movie he makes. Like when it comes to making a flat out B movie, even with a big budget, he knows what he's doing.
The peak of illogical silliness doesn't exist in Matthew Vaughn's world in the same way that his acolyte Guy Ritchie doesn't. And what I love about Guy Ritchie is the same thing I love about Matthew Vaughn, is that as much as people knock on his movies, nobody can make Matthew Vaughn movies like Matthew Vaughn in the same way that no one can make Guy Ritchie movies like Guy Ritchie does. They're their own,
They both have their styles.
Speaking of Guy Ritchie and Henry Cavill, trailer trash. There's one in particular I want to talk about.
We will talk about that when we get there.
Yeah, we do. So this movie, here's the thing. this is great trash. And there's a great line. Roger Ebert once had this great quote when he gave thumbs up to The Fast and the Furious, the first one. And Richard Roper was baffled by this and was really angry. And he said, Richard, don't you understand? He goes, there's a sensibility. He's like, here's the thing. Like, he's mentioned, I think he quoted Pauline Kael, where Pauline Kael said, if we cannot, as moviegoers, enjoy great trash, he says something to the extent of, movies are so rarely great art that if we can't too enjoy great trash, we don't deserve the great art. If we're looking at the trash-o-meter, Aquaman and the Lost Kingdom is bad trash. Meg 2 is bad trash. Argylle is great trash. It's fun and stupid and dumb, and it knows what it is. It's too long. I agree.
Yes.
It's a little too into itself and a little too up its own ass, but you know what? I had fun. It was a good
time. This is one of those films where it's like, where if people give you shit for not turning your brain off at films like Aquaman, Meg, or Expend 4 Balls, if I can use that example as well.
Yeah,
those are films that it's like, it's difficult to. This one is because it's made by somebody who knows how to make a good action movie.
Yeah.
It's easy.
And it's like, think of it like, as a weird comparison, but another movie that's an example of great trash that's on the top of the trash heap, Cocaine Bear. The things this movie does well, it does really well. And that's why it's a good movie.
It exceeds those. Like, it doesn't just go down to the bottom of the barrel. It exceeds them.
And it's clever. And maybe it's self-consciously clever, but you know what? I appreciate the attempt to be clever. At least. I appreciate, so rarely do we see these many big-budget movies that try to have the ambition to be naughty and twisty and clever, and even be a little full of themselves with their cleverness. I welcome that. Have fun with your creativity.
Exactly. And I can tell you a B movie that definitely is aware of itself. I mean, so despite some subplots unneeded, but it's another movie from this year that you and I talked about, The Beekeeper.
I love The Beekeeper. And again, for the same reason. It's a movie that, if you look at it objectively, yes, you can poke a lot of holes in it. But if you look at it on the basis of what it's trying to accomplish, it succeeds. It's a fun, dumb, silly movie that knows what it is and has fun with it.
And you can tell from the forefront with what David Ayer was going for. I mean, even especially with Jason Statham in your lead role playing a beekeeper.
And Jason Statham actually giving a shit, which he didn't do in the 2 of the 3 movies he made last year. He finally was in a movie where he seemed like he was actually trying to bring some of that charisma he brought to Crank and the Bank Job to this and stuff like that.
And not even that, character. Like,
right.
He actually brought some character to Adam Clay. So
he did. And the mythology was stupid. Yes, the idea of beekeepers as these secret
like a federal agent company,
but it's
like, that's dumb.
But it knows it's stupid. The movie itself pokes fun at the fact that they're a beekeeper. It's like not that kind of beekeeper. Like, it knows how stupid it is. It knows how silly the idea is.
Like an agency known as Beekeepers. Like,
right.
That's what makes it so funny.
Right.
Like,
but the thing about this movie, there were some moments. The main twist in the middle I saw coming, but there were a lot of other ones I didn't. For instance, one involving Catherine O'Hara's character.
And also, not to mention Catherine O'Hara, Bryan Cranston, for that matter.
The cast, too, is amazing. We didn't even mention Ariana DeBose, who liked my Instagram post on Wish. Thank you, Ariana DeBose. You're cool. Certified
She's an
cool
MVP.
Person. To quote Prince of Cinema, she's an all-star.
Bingo. Let's see. Like you say, Catherine O'Hara, Bryan Cranston,
Sam Rockwell, who is always good value in everything.
Can I just flat out say this right now? Can I just say this now?
Yeah.
Sam Rockwell is the best part of this movie, without question. He is the best part of the movie.
The best part of every movie he's in.
Like, not only does he know how to bring charm and not only does he know how to bring charm and cleverness to the source material that he's working with, he knows how to make it funny.
Well, the thing about Sam Rockwell is that he doesn't seem like he's acting. He's one of those character actors who, when he's so unforced in the charm that he brings to movies that it just feels like he's playing Sam Rockwell and everything. And I mean that as
It may look like he's playing Sam Rockwell, but it's like you don't see him.
He's naturally likable. He doesn't, he knows his strength and he plays to it, and he does it well, and he's, that's why.
Oh my God, you're Ellie freaking Conway.
Right, that whole element, and especially later on, because the thing is that for those watching the trailer, a lot of what's in the trailer is in the first half of the movie. The second half there's almost nothing in the trailer from the second half because something significant happens.
If it was in the trailer, it would spoil the entire twist.
Like, I went into this movie thinking that line in the trailer where Sam Jackson says, like, now it's time to meet the real Agent Argylle, I thought that was going to be in, like, the last 20 minutes. It's like an hour in. Like, the last half of this movie is everything after that point. That's sort of where the parts in the trailer kind of end, is that point in the movie. And I admire that they did that. So, I genuinely love this movie. I'm kind of amazed that it's got like a 35% on Rotten Tomatoes. I think that's a little bit unfair. And I know that critics dump on Matthew Vaughn a lot, like I get it. But here's the thing. Mark Kermode, who is known for dumping on Matthew Vaughn with only a couple of exceptions, one of them being Kick-Ass, which he very much loved. Good. He liked Argylle. He gave it a thumbs up. He didn't give it Film of the Week, but he said, like, you know what? I really had a good time at this. So when the most, verbal, most, biggest critic of this filmmaker says, hey, I liked this one, maybe that's a sign.
Yeah.
He's one of the only people I've heard who did seem to really like this.
Because
it knows what it is. And
I don't know. You don't really know this about me, Grant. I am a massive fan of Matthew Vaughn. Like, I am a huge fan of his. Like,
even his movies that are the bad ones. Like Kingsman 2.
I don't think he's made a bad movie at all. Like,
I love
like
Kingsman
all of the films that, like, pretty much every single film I've seen from Matthew Vaughn, either I've liked, really enjoyed, or absolutely loved. Like,
well, except I liked everything but The King's Man, but I didn't hate The King's Man. Which I think I think my least favorite might actually be The Golden Circle, but I still like the movie. But that is my least favorite of his. What I like, The Golden Circle, to me, had a lot of the same problems that you could argue this one had, in that it was a little too long, it was a little too bloated, but the thing is I ultimately came around to liking it because it had the right spirit to it, like this did. It had the right... And the thing about The Golden Circle...
It had the charm.
Look, if you're... People who, like, I say this with The Golden Circle, where I said to someone, if you're the guy in the audience who's complaining and bitching and moaning when Elton John, in a freaking sparkling moo-moo, is beating the ham salad out of a bunch of henchmen with a guitar and saying he's gonna fuck their shit up, if you're the guy in the audience going, ooh, lame, you're not doing it right. Like,
you're not having fun.
I cheered at that part. I thought that was great. Like, Set 2 Saturday's all right for fighting. Like, come on!
That's amazing!
That's awesome! And again, like, but even The King's Man, with my problems with it, especially that mountaintop, snowy mountain fight scene, dude, that was badass! The scene with, like, Ray Fiennes where he's fighting the dude on the freaking cliffside, that was awesome!
And, that was amazing!
It was! It was badass! Like, I just don't get it. I don't understand, like, you knew. And
also, another thing that I love about this film in regards to the action, I love how fast and smooth that Matthew Vaughn does how his editors do the movies.
Right.
Like it is so fast and fresh to a point where it's like, there's not really jump cuts. It's like, it's his style of editing.
The only thing I will say that I think the bigger budget hurt him this time is some of the CGI could have been a little more polished, just a little bit.
That I can. I mean,
just
but that's
a little
not.
bit.
But at the same time, I'm not trying to let that bother me because the fact that this film also goes up with Apple, kind of made it beef up the budget, like you said. So.
Well, and here's the other thing. Someone said, "Oh, like the CGI in this is as bad as The Flash," and I was like, "Fucking really?
The Flash took a lot more time to make than this movie."
Well, but also, it didn't. Like, the Flash...
The Flash had to go through way more reshoots than Argylle did.
Right. At least
So,
there were some stunts.
So I don't see what the argument is about that. Like, I really don't see that.
I don't... And, like, look, okay... there's CGI when the cat is flying through the air, but what? Do you want them to drop a real cat off a building? Like...
Who the hell would want that?
I don't... Those are things you have to let go for the movie to movie. So, yeah, I mean, I don't...
Like, for that movie to keep an even flow. Like...
It didn't take me out of it. Like, I understood why it was there. It didn't feel like it was CGI for the sake of CGI. It was, you know... And again... I'm not saying this movie's a masterpiece. I'm not saying it's even the best thing Matthew Vaughn's done. But I feel like I need to grade this on a curve because, Jesus Christ, people just hate this movie. I don't get it. I genuinely don't get it. I feel like a lot of it is, quite frankly, they're looking at the production and budget problems, not the movie. It's sort of like I felt with The Lone Ranger. It's the kind of the way I felt with Dark Shadows, where it's like, you guys are really just reviewing the budget and the how small the audience is for a movie of this budget, and you're not really looking at the movie on an objective level. You're just looking at the bigness of it and the bloatedness of it, which are factors. I'm not saying you're wrong, but like, it's not the whole cake here. Like, try to look at the movie as a movie and not just as a business transaction. You know what I mean? Like,
not because movies,
right?
Because Chris, I want to take a quote from Chris Stuckman. Like he is so right about this. Movies are an art form, not just a business that can make money.
Well, and in this case, I think this movie was made more on the business side of it to make money, but at the same time, I think people who go into this movie wanting out of it what the movie is offering are going to get that if they go in with an open mind. Now, I say that...
Or, in that, if they're going in with the correct mind, like knowing this is a dumb spy flick.
Or they're going in knowing who Matthew Vaughn is and knowing what his style is and expecting that level of, again, the limit of insanity doesn't exist in his universe. Logic, it's like, I'm sorry, people who go to the Fast and the Furious movies and don't criticize it, but then criticize something like Argylle, like, really? Because it seems like a lot of it is, what I liked about this is what I liked about
Because here's my thing, like, I have my criticisms with the Fast and Furious movies. Right. I do. Like, because some of the movies are so stupid to a point where it's like I can't enjoy it because they just go way too dumb. Like, way too dumb. But with this film, it's Matthew Vaughn's a director whose style I'm used to. Like, but
I feel like a lot of that there's a certain level to criticism in blockbuster entertainment, and again, we're all guilty of it, I'm guilty of it, where it's false equivalency. If we go into something wanting to hate it, we're going to look more objectively at lapses in logic that we wouldn't have if we were looking forward to a movie and ended up liking it. Which is a tragedy, but it's the truth. And I think that a lot of people who are fans of the Fast and the Furious movies, but who don't like Matthew Vaughn movies, go into that knowing that the logic is going to be upended and go with the flow. But in something like Argylle, because they have preconceived notions about how they dislike other movies this guy has made, they go in with that feeling. It's sort of the same way I was guilty of in that I was never a big fan of the first Aquaman. And I understand that maybe that is a factor on the fact that even though I liked the first Aquaman, I didn't love it. And the fact that I hated the second Aquaman is because it had all the things I didn't like about the first one and none of the things I liked about it. And,
exactly.
Which I think is fair, but at the same time, there is some bias there. I'm aware of that.
So I get that. But I was going to say with the Fast and Furious movies, like, there's a line with that franchise between fun and flat out stupid. Like,
but I think that but the thing is that I think that similar to Argylle, your movie can hit stupid if it's going to leap over stupid into gloriousness. I feel like Argylle, in the same way that the latter Fast and the Furious movies, they leap over that bridge of stupid into gloriously stupid, where it's fun stupid.
Look, man.
You know what I'm saying?
I get what you're saying, but I was gonna sit with an example of Fast 9. Like, Fast 9 was so dumb to a point where it's like I can't enjoy this movie. Like, it's way too dumb.
But again, I go back to it was one of my first reviews on my channel was Fast 9, well, first year, and I said, like, if people are really going to complain about the fact that they're in space and they're driving a car through a satellite, like, you clearly haven't been paying attention to these movies, because this is only a slight step up from what they've been doing for 5 or 6 movies now. Like, I understand what you're saying, but it's like, I do think that sometimes if you are someone who is not necessarily fully on board to begin with, you're going to go into something like this with a certain preconceived notion. And I understand that. But
this is one of those times where it's like, necessarily now I'm like not a big fan of the Fast and Furious movies. Like, I'm not the biggest fan of them.
No.
But here's the thing. Matthew Vaughn makes movies that are easy to not only make you sit back, relax, shove popcorn in your mouth and have fun, but also to vibe with it. Like, this is one of those films that you will enjoy if you're vibing with it.
Well, and I think it's the thing too is that Matthew Vaughn, even when he gets big budgets, Matthew Vaughn makes Matthew Vaughn movies. And I respect that. He makes, in the same way that to some extent, even though I like him, I very rarely like his stuff, Michael Bay, like, the defenders of Michael Bay, on some level I kind of get, in that Michael Bay's audience says what they like about Michael Bay is that every Michael Bay movie you can tell who made it, and I agree. And I think
I agree with
that's a strength and a weakness for me, but I understand if you're someone who generally likes his movies, why you like his other movies too. In the same way that I'm not going to degrade anybody for that, and there's never been a Michael Bay movie that I've hated to such a degree that I think that it's morally reprehensible for anybody else to like it. But it's like, okay, there are some people who are certain flavors of Matthew Vaughn they like more than others. I'm someone who, like, yeah, some of them I like more than others, but you know what? All the flavors of Matthew Vaughn are tasty. And some people feel that way about other filmmakers, and I understand. Guy Ritchie's another one where I just have a soft spot for him. Luc Besson is a filmmaker that has had wins and losses, but you know what? I kind of have a soft spot for all of his movies just in the audacity of them and the fact that he could only make these movies Luc Besson movies. I kind of admire that, and he makes them the way that he makes them.
Exactly.
Better or worse.
Again, like you said, also, that could also be the same with Guy Ritchie, like you said.
Right, exactly.
And plus, like, and I'm trying to think of another director that I get. Edgar Wright. Edgar Wright would be another one.
But the thing is, though, is that Edgar Wright is a director where pretty much everybody's unanimous in liking just about everything he's done. I'm talking about directors where they have had objectively less good movies and good movies. But the thing is that I have a soft spot for all their movies in the sense that there's a distinctive mark of them on them. Like, okay, let me put it to you this way. Like, Death Proof is objectively the weakest Quentin Tarantino movie, but I still like it because you can tell it's a Quentin Tarantino movie. His fingerprints are on it. In the same way that, like, Guy Ritchie, look, the one place with Guy Ritchie that I will actually set ship and go, that's the one that I leave out because I don't even think Guy Ritchie would consider Guy Ritchie movies swept away. But everything else he's done. But here's the thing. My favorite flavor of Guy Ritchie is the one that a lot of Guy Ritchie detractors hate, which is the getting a bunch of Cockney, brutish guys together to form a crew of wiseacre criminals. I love those movies. My favorite Guy Ritchie movies are things like Operation Fortune, Ruse de Guerre, and like, which is a lesser one, but also like Snatch, Lock, Stock.
The Gentleman.
The Gentleman, Gentleman was on my best of list in 2020. I love The Gentleman.
I love The Gentleman.
I'm excited for The Gentleman Netflix show because he's going to be working on it. Like, that's going to be fun. And again, I love The Gentleman. There are parts of The Gentleman where I think about it and it makes me laugh. This is fuck. It's spelled with a PH, but it sounds like fuck. Oh, fuck, calm the fuck down. Yeah, it's like,
also,
I love it.
That's also a movie where its dialogue and humor is very unapologetic. Like
it's also a movie that relies on it. And the thing is, it's almost like a greatest hits of what Guy Ritchie does best. If you don't like that version of Guy Ritchie, you're not going to like The Gentleman, and it has its detractors, and I get that. But it's also
yeah.
But I kind of feel like that movie has gained audience in the same way that another Guy Ritchie movie that was hated kind of a lot by critics when it came out, but the people who wanted to watch it came to it and made it a cult movie, which was Rock and Rolla, which I really liked, which was another movie that had all the hallmarks of. And I feel like that's going to be the case with Argylle with Matthew Vaughn fans, is that the people who maybe missed it in theaters are going to find it, and it's going to get a cult, because I think that it's so. It knows what it is, and it's clever, maybe too clever, sure, but it's clever, and it knows, but it's also really dumb. And it kind of knows it's really dumb.
It's a movie that embraces its dumbness.
And the convolution is kind of the point. I kind of feel, this is going to be a weird comparison, I kind of feel the same way about this that I did about something like Tenet, where there were even Christopher Nolan fans, a lot of them were baffled by Tenet to the point where they're like, I don't know everything but Tenet, and I was one of the few who went like, I love Tenet, because I felt like
I still remember Tenet,
because it was a memorable movie. Like I admired the audacity to make a movie like that and go all the way with it and make it really be someone of that standing and take a risk like that. I admired Christopher Nolan for that, and I admire Matthew Vaughn for this. He could have easily just made another throwaway kind of Kingsman movie, but he made something weird and offbeat like this, and it kind of made me smile. I felt good walking out of it.
Mine did too.
We'll get there. We'll get to the spoiler. First off, we want to score it. We gave it the same score, did we not?
Yep, 4.5 out of 5 stars.
Yeah, I'm not
this is like a really
this is like a high
4.5, close to a low 5. For me,
I'd give it a high 4.5, but maybe a good deal less than a 5, because it's not a perfect movie.
It's not, but it's also one of those films where it's like, maybe down the line I could forget the film's issues.
Yeah.
But then also some of the issues are gonna stick with me. Mainly the film's pacing.
It's too long. I think
it's definitely too long.
It's all of 2.5 hours. It doesn't really need to be. And here's the other thing. No pun intended. This movie is gonna kick ass on cable. This is gonna be one of those movies that when it gets to FX on a Sunday afternoon, it's going to be awesome to watch this when you have nothing else on. It's one of those kind of movies. Or when it gets on Apple, because it's an Apple co-production. It'll be a good movie to have bathroom breaks in the middle of, because it's not, okay, let me put it to you this way. There is the top tier of Apple, still a Michael J. Fox movie, Flora and Son, and Killers of the Flower Moon. And even, I would argue, Napoleon. I know that movie had its problems too, but I liked it more than other people. It's not quite on that level, but it's still okay.
I'm just going to say, Grant, it ain't no Killers of the Flower Moon.
Not at all. Not even close.
But
Killers of the Flower Moon, I don't think it's going to surprise anyone to say this. Killers of the Flower Moon will be mentioned on Sunday when we talk, probably on both of our lists of the best films of the year.
Bingo.
I don't think that's
warning,
going to
it's on both of ours.
To say, because we both really love that movie. I think we're not alone in that. But man, this movie I really dug this flick. I really don't understand and I think that maybe I'm being generous. Maybe on a normal day I'd give this a 4 and not a 4.5. But the thing is that I think I gave it a little bit of a boost just because the sheer amount of vitriol this movie is getting, I just don't get it. It just feels
Can I also speak on a film that I don't think, another action film that's also really silly in certain, with its action, but I have to be real with you. I watched it about a month ago, and it was mainly based off of your recommendation, but also the fact I wanted to see it.
Oh,
we also gave it the same score, which is Silent Night.
Which is also a good movie. I agree.
I don't get why people hate it.
Not a bad rap.
Like, I mean,
because
look, I understand if people complain there's not enough dialogue. I get it, because
there's
there
no
are some moments in the film. There's no dialogue. But I was going to say that I do think there are some moments that could have used some dialogue. Like,
but see, you know what I liked, though? This movie, to me, is... A lot of the criticism I heard is that, okay, it's not vintage Woo. It's not vintage Woo because it wasn't made in Hong Kong. But here's the thing.
duh.
Which is the best John Woo movies, outside of Face Off notwithstanding. That's the exception that makes the rule. The best John Woo movies, except for Face Off, are made in Hong Kong. They just are. Like, hard-boiled movies of that nature, they're made in Hong Kong. They're better. I get it. But the thing is that what I loved about Silent Night was John Woo is back, and he's making a movie that is it's almost like a filmed dare. And I mean this as a positive, where someone like John Woo, who is a legendary action stylist, saying, I'm going to dare myself to make a John Woo movie within a very set amount of limitations. And then he pulls it off. And I think that's the thing that I liked about Silent Night, is the balls to make that movie when you're someone like John Woo and not be afraid of pissing off your audience by doing so.
Yeah, so...
Yeah, I mean...
Yeah, I get that. I get what you mean, and I got that Blu-ray, so I'm gonna be watching that every Christmas season. I'll just tell you that.
I'll tell you this: for the first time in this decade since it started, I have a Christmas movie on my best of list. The last time was in 2020 when I put Happiest Season on my best of list. Don't guess what it is, but it's
I'm not gonna guess. I'm just putting it into my mind.
I think you know what it is, Luke, because I think it'll be pretty high on your list as well. That's all I'll say.
I'm gonna look back at my list and try to see. I'm not gonna say what it is, obviously, but I'm gonna try to connect the dots.
Let me give you a hint. Let me give you a hint.
All right.
It stars one of the leads from Big Fat Liar. That's all I will say.
Yep, I know what it is now.
Yeah, you guessed it.
Not saying it, but I know what it is.
But anyway, I think the message of this is tune in on Sunday for our best films of 2023 countdown. There's going to be a lot of them. And I'll tell you right now, because it's my channel, we're doing a lot of honorable mentions and a lot of runners-up, because I could not, even at 30, and I have a top 30 with one tie. Technically, it's 31. There were so many great movies last year that didn't make the cut that I really loved, that I just want to give one more shout-out. Because I think they need it. Because some of them really were not seen by a lot of people.
Yep.
But here's the other thing. I locked my list on Letterboxd for your benefit, because there were some moments some movies I put in at the last minute that will surprise you, Luke. That you maybe didn't know I saw. What?
I'm sure there will be.
Like that I saw and put it on my list after I locked it, or I saw it while I was on vacation. There were actually, on my top 30, there were, I think, 5 movies that I didn't see until I went to Utah that are on my list. So there you go.
And I'll just tell you this right now.
Yeah.
When we did the best and worst stuff on my channel back in December,
yeah,
you're gonna notice quite a few changes.
And that's kind of why I wanted to bring you on, because I figured that I wait to do the only movie that I had on my. There were a couple movies I didn't have a chance to see before the list. How to Blow Up a Pipeline, still haven't seen that yet. Really wanted to see Occupied City. It was only playing at the college this weekend, and the only time I'd be able to see it was at 6 o'clock on Sunday, and that's when we're doing our thing. The movie's 4.5 hours long. So There was no way I was going to be able to do that and still do the list on Sunday. So I was like, you know what? I'm just going to call it and just say, for right now, those couple of movies notwithstanding, I saw 300 movies in 2023. That's a good number. That's a good round number. And these are the 30 that I think are the best. And with, again, many honorable mentions and runners up. Like, many. I mean, like, and we're going to have to just list them off. Some of them, because it's just going to be too long otherwise. But
maybe a couple of them we could stick, like, in case if somebody was not, like, expecting that to be on both of our lists, maybe stop for a couple seconds, maybe talk about it, but not for too long, obviously.
Let me put it to you this way. The honorable mentions I'll just run through. The runners-up, I'm going to give at least a few seconds to, just because I feel like they need to be... I need to justify at least some of them why they're not on there, and why, even though I love them and they will... The other thing, too, that people need to remember is, at the end of this year, and Luke, you can join me to do this if you wish, we're going to do, after we do the best and worst list, we're going to do a part 3 of next year's list, which is the mid-decade report, as I call it, where we're going to talk about the top 100 best films of the 2020s so far, because it'll be officially halfway through the decade, because it'll be 2020, 2021, 22, 23, 24. So it'll be 5 years.
So yeah, we'll be in 2025.
And so I want to put together a list of movies, and I want to include some movies that maybe didn't make my list those years, but were runners-up, because I feel like they have climbed. Because...
None of them have done that for me, too, so...
Right. So, like, there are, you know... But I will say this, there are going to be movies that are not on anybody else's list. I'm kind of proud of that. Like, I've looked into it.
I think so for me too.
Like, I'll tell you this, my number 1, nobody has on their list.
I can tell you a couple. I mean, I'm not going to say what they are, but there's a couple of movies that are going to be on my list that I know maybe some people may not be expecting to be on a best of list.
I will also say a good fourth of the choices are foreign films. I will also say that. There are a lot of foreign films this year on there, surprisingly.
All right, I'll take your word for it.
And some of them really obscure. Like, anyway. But that being said, yeah, 4.5 stars for Argylle. Let's close the book on it. And let's talk trailer trash. So, would you like to go first?
Yeah, because I only got 3. So.
Okay, go ahead.
So, Kung Fu Panda 4 looks awesome. Cannot wait. It's good news.
It does. Finally, a fart joke.
Also, one of the funniest fart jokes that'll probably ever be in the movie.
And I don't even like fart jokes, and that made me laugh. It's just
like, Grant, you actually want to know what's funny?
Yeah.
It isn't just the fart that made me laugh; it's the way they start running.
Because there's an actual punchline. It's not just that he farted, which is the key to making a funny joke. Is actually having a joke, and not just, "Ooh, he farted."
It's not like a, oh, that was me. Should have done the green burrito. Like that.
Yeah.
I still don't watch the movie, but I only remember that line from one of the movies you're going to be talking about in your worst list. So.
Which one? Oh.
Not saying what it is, but.
Okay, give me the hint again, though, so I know what it is.
Oh, that was me. Should have had that breakfast burrito. Yep. That.
Put in the private chat what it is, because I cannot for the life of me remember.
All right, so hold on. Hold on 1 second. Hold on.
Hey, look, it's that schmuck from that movie I saw on vacation that wasn't actually a movie. That soccer dude. What was his name?
All right, take a look.
Oh, yeah. Oh! I don't think that was a bean burrito, though. Did you watch the movie?
I didn't. I remember that from one of our streams that you were on with me.
Dude, that wasn't even the line. Though.
I said breakfast burrito on the second time. I said breakfast burrito.
Well, it wasn't breakfast burrito. What it was I'll say the line. I won't say what the movie is. It's so stupid. Like there seems to be a large amount of sulfur here. Oh, sorry, that was me. Ah!
I remember you mentioned the burrito one there though, but
yes, and in case you're wondering, that will be pretty high on my list. That was
I can already tell.
And there will be some on the list that you will not like. That I have them on there. I'm just gonna be real about it. There's a lot of them.
I know. Some of them maybe for me too even on my best and worst of. So we'll see.
Yeah.
But regardless, so yeah, Kung Fu Panda 4. I cannot wait.
If it's
March
anything like
18th.
the first 3, it'll be awesome.
Well, they got the writers of the first 3 back for this one, so we should be fine.
Then it'll be awesome.
Yeah. Or should we say it'll be skadoosh?
It will be skadoosh. Anyway.
Yeah, all that. Drive Away Dolls. One of my most anticipated of the year, bro. It looks amazing. Cannot wait. And The Fall Guy, David Leitch's new film. I cannot wait for that one too. Comes out a week, and I'm saying a week before my birthday. So,
who the hell are you, Democrats?
I love that. But funny enough, though, when I saw Godzilla -1 again, I got the trailer for Kingdom of the Planet of the Apes both times. That actually comes out on my birthday now. So
I got Kingdom of the Planet of the Apes so much when I was on vacation. It was like every movie there was Kingdom of the Planet of the Apes.
But really quick though, before you do trailer trash, can I point out one of my most anticipated movies of the year now?
What?
Abigail.
I got that trailer a couple times on vacation. Oh my god, it looks like so much fucking fun. I
feel sorry about what's gonna happen to you tonight.
What can I say? I love playing with my food. I'm like, fuck yeah.
Oh, like when I heard that line, I was like, oh god, this is gonna be demented.
I had that thing. I'm like, that kid's a good actor, but she looks familiar. Where have I seen her? It's Matilda. Holy shit! It's from Matilda the musical.
Yeah, that's a good movie.
It is. Anyway.
All right, go ahead.
Speaking of movies, I felt really bad about putting off my best of list last year. Matilda the musical. It was actually really fucking great.
Really good, man.
So Argylle, trailer trash. Let's talk trailer trash. Speaking of trailers, I got a bunch that I mentioned already. Kingdom of the Planet of the Apes! Which I'm looking forward to. Don't get me wrong. I'm hesitant about one thing, though. You're not going to be able to top War. War is one of the best movies.
Well, in my opinion, you're not going to be able to top Dawn. Like,
I'm gonna be real. War for the Planet of the Apes is better than the original Planet of the Apes. It's the best Apes movie.
Fair.
I genuinely think so.
I prefer Dawn. So, but War is still amazing. War is still amazing, but I prefer Dawn of the Planet of the Apes.
Well, let's. I think one thing we're all in agreement on is that the entire Rise, Dawn, War trilogy of Apes movies is great. All three of those movies are awesome.
Like they're all amazing.
But what I'm saying is, like, Rise was really good.
Dawn was even better.
Dawn was even better and was great. War was a masterpiece. I mean, it just got better as it went. It's one of those rare series that it gets better and better each time. So I'm hoping... But with Kingdom, I hope that it doesn't peter out. I hope that they really took the time to make this on the level. I hope so. Because I like Wes Ball.
They really thought this one through.
Speaking of movies that we were talking about, directors that are like-minded with Henry Cavill, The Ministry of Ungentlemanly Warfare. God damn it, this looks like
Guy Ritchie.
I haven't
seen the trailer, but I saw it. Like, all you have to tell me is that it's a new film from Guy Ritchie, and you got me sold. That's all you need to tell me.
Hello there. Like, oh, is this thing on? We can't hear you. Kindly off. Anyway.
That's great.
Also, Mr. from the After movies, my buddy from the After movies, Mr. fucking Trevor, is in this.
Nice.
But dude, it looks like so much fun. It looks like someone said it's Guy Ritchie's British Inglourious Bastards. I'm like, fuck yeah. That's exactly what it is. I'm here for it. And also love Henry Cavill. Just
always do.
What a man! What a man! What a mighty good man. I want to be your kryptonite, baby. Anyway, Ghostbusters: Frozen Empire. This is the newer trailer. Hey, Luke. Big, tall, and horny at 12 o'clock. God, I'm so excited.
That's one of my most anticipated of the year too.
They brought back Dickless. He's back. I'm here for it. Let's go.
And of course, obviously, because of Afterlife, we're getting the original Ghostbusters back. So,
but here's the question: Did he get that lovely fruit basket that Peter Venkman sent him? That's the biggest mystery. No,
we may never know.
the greatest movie insult of all time. We had everything under control until the power was shut off by Dickless here. They caused an explosion. Is this true, Mr. Venkman? Yes, sir, it's true. This man has no dick.
and AKA one of the greatest films ever in Ghostbusters.
Ghostbusters. Speaking of greatest movie insults and Ray Fiennes, shut up! Damn, dude, what the fuck are you doing? It's an inanimate fucking object! You're an inanimate fucking object!
I love that.
Bruges, great movie.
That's one of my favorites.
It's a great movie. You're an inanimate fucking object.
Yes.
The greatest comeback ever.
I love that.
But yeah, awesome. Ghostbusters Frozen Empire here for it. Bob Marley, One Love. I got my ticket. It's going to be my Valentine's Day double bill of the weirdest Valentine's Day movies ever. It's going to be Madam Web in the afternoon and Bob Marley at night.
Oh, God, dude. Well, at least you're starting the
afternoon.
afternoon right with Sydney Sweeney, though. Just saying.
But also, legit looks good.
It looks fine. I don't think it's going to be...
Does.
Look, let me just say this.
Yeah.
I don't think it's going to be good, but it looks better than Morbius. I'll just say that. It looks a lot better than Morbius.
Don't you dare disgrace Bob Marley, you heathen. Oh,
no,
you're talking about Madam Web.
Bob Marley...
Oh,
I was saying Morbius. It looks better than Morbius.
No, I actually think Madam Web looks like fun. Who knows? But it looks like fun.
But Bob Marley though looks great. Let me just get that correct.
And Kingsley Ben-Adir is an underrated actor. I think he'll do a good job.
Yes.
That part.
My life is for the people.
For the people.
As you say.
Yes. Bob Marley. I also got Driveway Dolls. That looks like so much fun.
It looks great, man. I can't wait.
Also, Miley Cyrus, a porno starring Miley Cyrus and Matt Damon, I guess. That's kind of funny. What a weird pair that is. I also got the Fall Guy.
Fall Guy looks great, man.
It looks like a lot of fun. Engage your core.
It's too dangerous. It's gonna take the stairs. Okay, fuck it.
I had no choice. I had to do some Jason-born shit.
Born shit.
Look, David Leitch is doing it. That's good enough for me.
That's all you need to tell me.
That'll be a good time.
Because can I call underrated movie of 2022? Bullet Train.
I like
underrated.
Bullet Train a lot. Yeah,
underrated.
Train. That was a movie that critics hated but audiences loved, and I think there's a true reason for that. Speaking of movies that are similar to The Fall Guy and other John Wick light, Monkey Man.
Dude. Bro, I'm telling you right now.
Rad.
I hope when it comes out, my theater plays Monkey Man, because I am going in because I'm gonna text Justin and be like, bro, we gotta go see Monkey Man.
Dude,
we gotta see Monkey Man.
Dude, it's John Wick by way of fucking Bollywood. Let's go. I'm here for it.
And not only starring, but it's directed by Dev Patel.
And it looks like it's directed great. And it's isn't it his debut?
It's his debut for director, yeah.
Now, also, they name their car. He names his car Nicki Minaj because it has a great back and a beautiful front. Come on,
that's just amazing, dude.
We're perfect. I
cannot wait for Monkey Man. I think I might call that one, besides Dune Part 2, or you like to call Tune, for the fun of it.
Yeah.
Maybe my most anticipated of the year might be Monkey Man.
Monkey Man's up there. I'd also put Ungentlemanly Warfare on there because that just looks.
Ungentlemanly Warfare, obviously Driveway Dolls, Kung Fu Panda.
Driveway Dolls. Deadpool
Love
3.
Lies Bleeding is another one I'm really looking forward to.
Love Lies Bleeding, which I just missed getting to see in Park City. I was so bummed.
And probably going to be Controversy 101 by the end of the year, Civil War. But
oh, dude, I'm so excited for Civil War. I love Alex Garland. Bring it on.
Of course, I do too. But I know that film's going to be basically Controversy 101 since because it's election.
Who gives a shit? Let it be. That's the other thing. people are like, oh god, it's gonna be divisive. It's like, yeah, it's gonna say
Like,
that Trump is
I just know it's going
because he is.
But it's like I'm just gonna avoid all of that kind of crap with controversy. So
It looks like it's gonna actually be a thought-provoking movie. Look, provoke me. That's what I want. Make movies like this. This is what I want you to make. Like, come on.
and I mean, if you want movies like that, you got A24 to turn to. So
well, and here's the other thing. I've already seen it, so I can't speak on it, but I'll say this. For the early part of the year, if Out of Darkness is not on your radar, put it on your fucking radar. It's awesome.
I'm going to keep it on my radar.
Early in Utah. And you know what also, despite the critical drubbing it's gotten, the American Society of Magical Negroes was not bad.
I'll keep that one on my radar too.
It had uneven parts in it, but I liked it. And then also we got, because it was an IMAX showing, which means that there's more trailers past the point where the studio's trailers come on. Furiosa, Mad Max Saga. I'm excited.
Looks amazing.
Speaking of anticipated, and then Dune Part 2, or Toon as I call it. By the way, I do have an AMC theater, and they are indeed selling the pocket pussy, or as I like to call it, the popcorn tub, the sandworm. It's like a pocket pussy. Because it totally does. Also, I love Monkey Man, but the title, as a child of the 90s, all I could think of was, and if you don't know this, you're not my age, so Luke, you may not know this, but Monkey Man! Hey, Arnold.
Of course I do. Of course I know that.
Monkey Man.
Yeah. Monkey Man. Bro, dude, Hey Arnold was my shit growing up, dude.
I love Hey Arnold.
I love that shit.
I remember me and my brother used to watch that, and whenever we were like, "Hey Arnold," we'd yell, "What?" It's like I was watching Robot Chicken, and they did a thing where it was Fatal Attraction, but it was Hey Arnold and Helga Pataki, and it was like she'd go, "Hey Arnold," and then he'd go, "What? God damn it!"
What the fuck? That's so funny.
Apparently, Robot Chicken was quietly canceled. Like, fuck it is. Undo it, if so. That show needs to be on the air forever.
For that.
Yeah.
I'll give it this.
The fuck it is. And then, yeah, Dune Part 2, Toon.
Looks amazing.
It does. And then, was there Pharma? Well, yes, there was. And we were going to talk about it now.
There's nothing after, but there's a mid-credit scene.
Spoiler alert for those who don't want to know. This is your chance. Spoiler alert. Are you gone? I'll give you a second. 1, 2, 3, 4. It's a Kingsman movie.
Yep.
It's a spin-off of Kingsman. So the movie, when there's a moment early on in the movie, it's a little thing, and I just thought, oh, that's a cute little Easter egg. I didn't think much of it. I was like, oh, kind of like seeing Annabelle in James Wan movies. Like, okay, fair enough. Or like seeing the mirror from Oculus in the background of Haunting of Hill House. It's like, okay, Mike Flanagan's doing
right, yeah.
Whatever. She's drinking a beer that says Statesman on it. And I was like, okay, that's cute. That's like a nice little nod to the Statesman from Kingsman 2. Then the ending happens, the post-credit, where the real Argylle, 20 years earlier, is recruited into the Kingsman at the Kingsman bar.
Mm-hmm.
And it turned out this whole thing was in the same universe. So
okay, I'm gonna be real. I found that confusing.
Well, and I think you did until I kind of explained it a little bit, or what I thought about it, because I don't know for sure, because they leave it hanging for that reason. We better hope that this film makes enough money so we can actually get that. But here's the other thing: people are already talking about its failure. The thing is that streaming is going to be a factor. That's why Apple financed it, is because Apple gave it to Universal so that it could get a jump on the money in theaters, so that knowing it would make the majority of its money when it gets to Apple. They knew this. So the fact that it's $200 million, that doesn't mean anything, because we're getting Knives Out 3. Glass Onion made a fraction of its budget in theaters, but it got a lot of views on streaming.
It got so many watch hours on Netflix. So
yeah, it did. So that's
why we're getting the third one.
it was a boost. The theatrical release was not originally planned. This was going to go straight to Apple, and a few months ago they decided to put it in theaters to start with to boost it. So it's a factor, but it's not the whole pie. Like,
right.
It's just a piece of it. And they did that intentionally. I think that so they could get it out there and in the conversation, so that when it eventually comes to Apple, it'll do really well.
Yep.
You know? So, yeah, I don't think. I think when it's going to make its money back ultimately. I do. I think that it will.
I hope it does, because it deserves it.
Well, here's the other thing. The King's Man was not a massive success, and they're making a sequel to it. So, I mean, I think that if he gets the funding, he'll make it anyway. I think that it just is a question of, he still says to this day that he's going to do Kick-Ass 3, and I question whether that's going to happen. I welcome it. Then again, especially if Matthew Vaughn directs it, because Kick-Ass 2 wasn't terrible, but it wasn't as good because it wasn't a Matthew Vaughn movie. I think that was the biggest factor against it.
Yeah.
But the other thing is, originally, I read after this that he originally planned that at the end, the post-credit scene was going to be that... I read this, that he said the post-credit scene was going to be, in an initial script, that Argylle is recruited into the Kingsmen, and he meets their top agent in America, and it was Hit Girl.
That actually would have been interesting.
And Chloe Moretz was going to reprise the role, and she said that she was game for it, but that it never came to fruition because they couldn't get the rights or something. I would have totally welcomed that. That would have been awesome.
I would welcome that too, man.
Yeah, me too. But again, by the way, speaking of people who are associated with Aaron Taylor Johnson, we didn't get this trailer, but I saw it earlier today. Speaking of anticipated movies, Back to Black, the Amy Winehouse movie, looks really good.
Looks interesting.
It does. Well, here's the other thing. I loved Amy Winehouse as a singer, and when she died when I was, late high school, and it broke me up because I was really a fan of hers. And then a few years back, I saw the documentary Amy, and it was one of my favorite movies of that year. I love that film. And if it's half as emotional as that movie was, it's going to be really good.
Which I hope it is for that, so.
Yeah. And also, they said in the trailer, and some would argue it's a boast, where they said it's the story behind one of the greatest albums ever. It's like, I'm sorry, if you've listened to Back to Black, it is one of the greatest albums ever. I'm sorry, it's just the way it is. Every song on there is a fucking banger.
So there you go.
So yeah, it's a Kingsman movie. I look forward to seeing the way it is, but here's the other thing. I always get a little gun-shy about cross-pollinating franchises in the sense of when they're so tonally different. And in this case, they're not tonally different, but the biggest factor is this movie is PG-13. The Kingsman movies are very much not. And I wonder how they're going to merge those. In the same way that when there were rumors circulating that they were going to do a movie that was almost made called MIB 23, where it was going to be 21 Jump Street and Men in Black teaming up, and they couldn't make it work. And it's because Men in Black is essentially, some off-color jokes aside, Men in Black is a family movie.
Right.
It's a family franchise. It's a Spielberg franchise. It's aimed at a wide audience. 21 Jump Street is a hard R comedy action franchise. So there's really not, you can't really merge those two. And they also don't make sense as a duo. Like, it's a fun idea. It's a cute idea to make a meta kind of crossover of the two of them.
Yeah.
The only thing they really have in common is that they take on a genre and they kind of sarcastically poke fun at the genre they're in, both collectively. Like, Men in Black was an alien invasion, movie that was kind of poking fun at other alien invasion movies. 21 Jump Street was a buddy cop movie that was poking fun at buddy cop movies.
Right.
Like, kind of, you know what I'm saying? Like,
yeah.
That's the only real factor that I think ties them together, right? That never made sense to me.
Never really made a lot of sense. Like,
right. And the other thing is that it was going to be directed by James Bowen, who is a good director, but it would have been too much of a task for him. Like, I think that it wouldn't have worked without Phil Lord and Chris Miller. I just feel like they are what made the Jump Street movies really work.
Yeah.
It was their sensibility in it. And it's the same with Men in Black, because I don't think Men in Black can really work without Barry Sonnenfeld. I think you need someone who knows that world backwards and front.
Like Barry Sonnenfeld does, so.
Right, and even like Men in Black 2, which is not the best one, I don't hate it because it still has enough of the first movie's charm. I actually think Men in Black 3 is kind of underrated. I like Men in Black 3.
I like Men in Black 3. I mean, I like all three of them. Like,
but the thing is, the first Men in Black is easily the best, and it's an all-time classic. I love that movie. But I can watch that movie all the time. But, that was on Final Jeopardy last night. It's like, they're great lines in that movie. But,
love that movie.
But I also didn't hate Men in Black International, but I kind of forgot I saw it immediately after.
I liked International. Like,
it had its moments. My biggest issue with it is it just wasn't very funny. Like, the special effects were okay, the plot was all right. It was just kind of like, I've seen Tessa Thompson and Chris Hemsworth do this buddy thing well, so I don't know why they're not doing it here.
I thought they did it fine with International. Like, in all honesty, I thought they did it fine. Like,
I think it suffered a little bit coming out so close to Thor Ragnarok, though, because Thor Ragnarok really had the two of them together really well. They paired them really well together with material. I kind of felt the same way about American Society of Magical Negroes, where I said in my review, I said, the movie's good. I think that its biggest default is that it comes so soon after, and I'm seeing it so soon after seeing American Fiction, which does this type of satire better.
Right, exactly. So I get that.
But I think that at the same time, like, it's not that movie's fault. They were made on separate time frames and made by separate people. It's like apples and oranges. It's not fair to compare.
Yeah.
But it's impossible not to, as unfair as it is, because you know.
Basically, yeah.
But anyway, the movie's good. I like.
Just go see it, please.
Yeah, it's good. Please go see Argylle. But anywho, that's it though. We will be back. Tomorrow, I have 2 reviews tomorrow. First off, The Tiger's Apprentice, which looks okay. My biggest thing is, apparently the movie's only 83 minutes, and like 10 of those minutes are trailers. It's pretty freaking short for like an epic animated action movie. So I'm kind of like, eh.
Well, I mean, Sherry Cola's in it, so why not?
That's true.
Well, and plus, the reason why I know she's in it is because I'm on her broadcast channel on Instagram, and she promoted the movie. So,
well, also Sherry Cola, designated cool person because of her shout out.
She's awesome.
She is awesome. I love Sherry Cola. Well, she gave me like a love heart shout out for my praising of shortcomings on social media. So thank you for that, Sherry Cola. You're cool. And you were great in shortcomings.
Just because of that, it's like she already wins like MVP status.
Oh yeah, she's a friend. She's a friend of the channel as far as I'm concerned. We love you. We love you, Sherry Cola. Keep doing what you're doing. You're awesome. Kick ass.
Yeah, that's right.
And then tomorrow night I'm seeing a movie that has gotten really good reviews. Oh my god, like a 96. Fitting In. So I'm seeing that tomorrow with Maddie Ziegler in it, who is proving herself to be a pretty good actor, I must say. Considering
the Fallout,
how her career started, like music, which was I couldn't even pass. I watched 20 minutes.
As for a person that has autism, that movie is incredibly offensive.
You know what though is kind of telling though? She kind of agreed, because I remember her saying in an interview that like after it came out that she cried for half of filming because she genuinely thought that she was being unfair to the autistic community, and it made her feel really sad. She didn't want to hurt anybody. I feel like
I can't entirely blame her for it.
No, I can't blame her at all. It was Sia's movie. I blame her entirely. I can't blame her. I can't blame Kate Hudson. I can't blame Leslie Odom Jr. They're all people who are talented people. that were under the thrall of bad material. Like, I can't, in the same way that I can't blame Leslie Odom Jr. for Exorcist, because he's a good
that
actor.
was not his fault.
Right, and he also, if you look at him in things like One Night in Miami, Hamilton, Central Park, like, he's a good actor.
Glass Onion. Glass Onion. Can't forget Glass Onion.
Speaking of Kate Hudson.
Yes.
Glass Onion, right. Look, Kate Hudson has made a lot of bad movies, but she's made at least 2 great ones. That movie and Almost Famous.
Almost Famous is great, so there you go.
One of the best ever. It's an all-star. You're an all-star, Almost Famous.
I'm a golden god. I love that shit.
Yeah, I think that movie is the main reason why Tiny Dancer is one of my favorite songs. Because of that movie. What a great movie. You know what scene always gets me choked up as an adult because my inner teen angst comes out when I watch Almost Famous?
What's that?
When they're singing Tiny Dancer and he says, it's like something like, I can't, like, I'm so glad I left home or something. And then Penny Lane takes his hand and says, you are home now. And it's just like, it just gets me every time.
Oh, man.
Oh, it's such a great movie. Oh, God, I love that movie. Anyway, so before you see Argylle, if you haven't, go watch Almost Famous. That movie kicks ass.
Yes, please.
The movie's awesome. Golden thumb of awesomeness.
Or if you guys want something to kind of get you in the mood for a good Matthew Vaughn movie, you know, besides Kingsman or Kick-Ass.
Kick-Ass. Kick-Ass is the best one.
Actually, I wanted to point this one out because it's his most underrated in my mind. Go watch freaking Stardust.
Thank you.
Go watch that movie. That movie's great.
Dude, Stardust kind of kicks ass. I'm not
gonna lie. It does kick ass, dude.
I kind of love that movie.
I love Stardust. Like
everybody has said for years that they've never made another fairy tale movie quite like Princess Bride. I'm like, hello, Stardust.
Look at Stardust.
It's over there. It's also rated PG, so your kids can watch it too. It's a Matthew Vaughn movie for everybody.
Clearly, yes.
Go watch it. It's great.
It's so good, bro.
It is. And Robert De Niro plays a gay stereotype. It's awesome.
There you go, see?
He's a cross-dressing magic pirate. It's rad.
Yes. So good.
And Michelle Pfeiffer basically plays her character from Hairspray, but as an actual witch. It's fantastic.
Yep.
But yeah, it's a fun time. So so we got that. We got fitting in Sunday before I go on with you Sunday night, because Sunday night we're doing the best of us. I'll be reviewing Orion in the Dark, which was not even on my radar until I found out it was written by Charlie Kaufman.
I heard about, like, when I heard it was written by Charlie Kaufman and it was by DreamWorks, I'm like, yep, got me.
Well, DreamWorks, I was like, okay, yeah, that could be good, because DreamWorks can make good movies. They can make some shit movies. They can make some good ones, too. And then I was like, Charlie Kaufman wrote that? Okay, I'll watch it. It's gonna, if it's anything like Charlie Kaufman's other movies, it's gonna be the most mindfucky kids movie ever. But I'm here for it. Eternal Sunshine of the Spotless Shrek. Come on, you totally watched that movie.
Yeah, I would. Honestly, I would.
Shrek and Fiona, like, and then
going into the more negative side of romance.
Like, literally, it's like Shrek and Fiona. It's years later. The passions died out. They're trying to erase each other from their memory. It ends with those, and then we'll end up, hating each other. He goes, okay,
right, yeah.
okay. Like, I'm here for it.
Yeah, I'm in.
Synecdoche, Puss in Boots. So basically, Puss in Boots: The Last Wish.
Yep.
We're all gonna die. Puss in Boots.
Oh. Grant, now you made me want to go back and rewatch Puss in Boots: The Last Wish. It's so good.
I'm thinking Poe ending things. A spin-off of Kung Fu Panda.
Oh God, yes. I would like to see that.
I'm a panda who was raised by a duck who sold noodles. I'm thinking of ending things. I'm going to this house with my friends. I was in School of Rock, and now I'm voicing a cartoon panda in a movie that doesn't... I don't know how it's as good as it actually is. I'm thinking of ending things. I'm here in this car.
So good, dude. So good.
Speaking of movies that when I try to describe it to normal people, they think I'm insane, and when I try to describe it to insane people, it's about as accessible as Shrek. I'm thinking of ending things.
Yep.
Look, everyone's a little bit crazy. Oh, you know what else? Fuck it all. Speaking of animation, if you have an Amazon Prime account and you've not watched Has Been Hotel yet, holy shit! Go watch fucking Has Been Hotel. It's awesome.
Actually, can I speak on a beautiful animation?
Yeah.
Go freaking watch Anomalisa. Charlie Kaufman movie.
Yes!
That's Grant. If you don't know me, man, that is
I
one of
love
my
that
all-time favorite movies. Is Anomalisa. That's a
Every
terrific
time I
film.
watch it, though, all I can think about is when Ralph the Movie Maker did his best and worst of, but it was the best of was all the bad movies and the worst of was all the good movies, and it was like he was trolling, or he's like, then he goes, I think one of them was Strange Magic was like his number 4 or something. He goes, I mean, you got movies like Inside Out and Anomalisa. They make you think, and they're all deep. God, so stupid. I need pandering jokes. That's what a good movie is. But it's like everything else I've seen.
Fuck.
So stupid.
Fuck off.
No, he was joking.
I know he was joking, but then it's like
if
somebody literally told me that to my face, I'd be like, "Fuck off."
You know what they also would be saying? Mom, where's my energy drink? I'm a baby. That's what they would be saying.
Yeah.
Inside Out? Fuck that shit. I want to watch Chicken Run Donna the Nugget instead.
Okay, no.
I'm a baby.
No. Get you. Fuck Inside Out. I want to watch Food Fight. Fuck Inside Out. I want to watch Food Fight.
You know what, though? I would join them in watching Food Fight. I wouldn't agree with their stance, but I'd watch it with them.
What about Dougal?
Food Fight is so bad, it's fun. I stand by that it's so bad, it's good.
What about Dougal?
No. Dougal is unwatchable. Now,
See?
the thing about Dougal is, here's my thing. Food Fight is bad, but
you want to know what makes it even worse with the animation, dude?
The animation, but it's batshit, whereas Dougal is irritating and irredeemable.
But no, what I was trying to tell you was, you want to know another thing that makes the animation so bad? It's mocap animation.
And it wasn't finished. Like, it was corrupted.
They couldn't, because of the fact that the hard drive was stolen, they couldn't even decide to even go back to computer-generated animation. They were just like, let's do mocap animation to make it look as shitty as possible.
If I want to watch partially unfinished, shitty animated movies, I'll watch Rhapsody Street Kids Believe in Santa, thank you. That's so much more entertainment value. Hey, Grandma! Like, how are you today? No, the best.
Hey, Grant. Hey, Grant. Got milk? You're missing the line. It's supposed to be,
what?
Do I look like the Dairy Queen to you? Like, I was like, when I heard that line, I was like, it's in Food Fight.
Oh yeah, okay, got you.
And when I heard that line, I was like, what the fuck? This is supposed that does not sound right. Like, hell, even this line, frankly, my dear, I don't give a spam. I was like, that sounds so bad. Like, that does not sound right.
That's a dad joke. That's not even a good dad joke. I'll tell you what. I have a good dad joke for you. Want to hear it? And then we got to go.
All right, bring it.
Because we have now done more than half the length of Argylle talking about Argylle. And most of it has just been us making each other laugh and recommending random shit. So we need to go. But anyway, like I was saying, so yeah, Orion in the Dark. Monday is the mystery movie. It's probably going to be Lisa Frankenstein. I hope it is. Please.
I don't think it would be, though, because it's literally coming out that exact week.
But it has an hour and 40-minute runtime, and it's rated PG-13, and it's a horror film, so it falls into that category. So
I don't know. We'll see.
I hope so. But here's the other thing. Speaking of people that I call dibs on, Catherine Newton is my baby, and if you touch her, I'll cut your dick off.
Flashback. If I can go to that Woman in Family Feud, that the rest of the button answered, cut his penis off.
No.
Oh my god.
Have you seen that video? Speaking of Family Feud, have you seen that video of Steve Harvey where that woman is answering so badly? Like, they didn't even air it. Like, she keeps giving the same answer and it's wrong, and she keeps insisting. And Steve Harvey is just losing his shit. Like, he's good and loopy because he just can't. And he starts cursing. Like, there's a part in it where he goes, "What?" She goes, "Well, Steve, I said that, and everything." It's like, "Oh, fine, turn that shit over." And it's just giggling. It's like a blooper from filming. It's great.
Wait, if you remember this one, his wife answers one of the questions with like, what would you trade in Steve Harvey for? And she said, "Pool boy." He was like, "Trade me in for no damn pool boy."
You know what that makes me think of?
What?
That moment deserves this.
Oh shit!
Don't demonetize me, Zaslav, please, dear God. Don't. No ads. Fuck off.
Not the ads again. Fuck off.
God. Oh, now you go adless. Fuck you.
Fuck you.
curb your wife joke.
I just thought that's so funny that I had to just dance along,
I love Curb Your Enthusiasm is ending next season, and I don't want to say goodbye because I love that show. Anyway, so I have a dad joke for you. Want to hear it?
Sure.
Luke, there's something I've never told you before. I'm afraid I have a drinking problem. It's getting really bad. I do. It's getting really bad, and I made a vow. I'm making a vow here and now. I will no longer I will quit drinking for good. I promise. From this day forward, I will only be drinking for evil. There you go. There's your dad joke for the week.
God damn it.
I have to give credit to Matthew Vaughn, or in this case, Jason Fox. Oh God, Jason Fox. There was one dad joke in Argylle that not only made me smile, it made me actually audibly laugh, and it was I'm terrified of the French. They give me the crepes.
Yes.
It was like,
no.
Damn it.
Grapes.
And I literally went, I felt really bad. I was like, because I thought it's such a lame joke, but it made me laugh. I was just like, damn it.
I know, right?
I think part of it is because it was Sam Rockwell doing it, and I just like him so much. And so I kind of gave it a pass, like, okay, you know what? That joke wouldn't have worked. Sam
Rockwell at the end of the day, so it's like...
It wouldn't have worked if it was anybody other than Sam Rockwell, but the fact that it was Sam Rockwell got me. It was like, damn it, that's funny.
He just knows how to deliver comedy.
Yeah. Because he's so sincere about it. That's the thing, is that because I love him so much. I love Sam Rockwell. But anyway.
Yeah.
Sam, if you're watching this, hit me up. Slide into my DMs. I think we'll have a wonderful evening together. Anyway, then we're also doing the Greatest Night in Pop. We're also going to be talking about that. And Wednesday, because it's supposed to be Saturday, but they canceled the screening, so I'm going out of my way. I'm going to Alton for you people. I hope you're happy. The Jungle Bunch, Operation Meltdown.
That's probably gonna be shit.
It will be shit. I watched the trailer earlier today, and there were already poo jokes. I was like, "Oh, Jesus Christ!"
So, for emotional support, if it's needed, you know who to call.
By the way, though, there is a silver lining. It could turn out to not be as bad. You know why? The same studio that's making it also made Inspector Sun, which I actually really liked. So who knows?
But that movie's script was actually clever. Like,
yeah, that's the thing. I like because
that's a movie. That's a movie that's clever with its jokes. Like
I walked into Inspector Sun thinking like, oh, oh god, this is gonna suck, and then was kind of laughing a lot more than I thought I would. It has some actually.
I really like Inspector Sun.
Well, and I think the thing is though, that Inspector Sun didn't have potty humor. It was all really good, sophisticated, sort of adult jokes. Like it was a lot of. You know what it was? It was like a Leslie Nielsen movie for kids, and I mean that as a positive.
Yeah,
it had a lot of throwing off.
That's a good way to put it, man.
I got the scoop, and he goes, "There's no ice cream near here." Wait, is there ice cream? Yeah, it's like, that's funny, or like something. It's like the joke. I always say that like there was a show that used to air on TBS. It was called Angie Tribeca, had Rashida Jones in it, where the whole thing was. It's a buddy cop show in the style of Airplane where it's all stupid humor. So it'll be like, so they'll go to see the coroner and she'll be like, I got a bombshell for you. He goes, oh, what is it? And then it's an actual bombshell and she goes, I don't know. I think it's from World War II. You know, it's like that. I like that style of humor. Or like, they have a part where they're driving the car and she has her traumatic backstory and there's like a flashback and she's looking out the window like, oh, and there's like a flashback. And then her partner's like, I don't mean to interrupt your tragic backstory, but you've been looking away from the road for like a really long time. It's like, or my favorite one, which is they got Alfred Molina in an episode to play like the coroner. His name is like Dr. Edelweiss or something, and he's like and so this part where he's like, yes, and we found this man's body at the scene, Tribeca, and she goes, Doctor, do you think these men are connected? These men are connected, and he goes, no, Tribeca, because then they would both be on the operating table. I'm afraid to say these are two separate people. And it's just like, God, that's dumb.
That's clever.
It's so stupid. It's like, don't call me Shirley. It's a stupid joke, but it gets you. It's like, you're the only one.
I am serious, and don't call me Shirley.
Striker, you're the only one I can trust to land this plane safely. Surely you're not serious. I am serious, and don't call me Shirley. Yeah. The best scene in Airplane, and there's many, is like, well, hey there, Jimmy. You ever been in a cockpit before? No, mister, I've never even been on an airplane before. Well, Jimmy, you ever see a grown man naked? Okay, let's like, Jimmy, do you like gladiator movies? It's like, hey, Jimmy,
that's so funny.
What's your opinion on Turkish men's bathhouses? Well, that leads to the other best scene in the movie, which is, oh, gosh, golly, you're Kareem Abdul-Jabbar. I'm sorry, son. I don't know who you're referring to. I'm Jim Johnson from Kentucky. It's like, I think you're the greatest. My dad thinks you're all talk. Like, hell I am. You can tell your pops that you should try running bird up and down the field every night, the court every night. He thinks I'm all talk.
That's funny.
He's like, oh my god, because it's actually Kareem Abdul-Jabbar, and he's playing a character, but they're not calling attention to it. And then he breaks the character. He's like, hell I am.
Yeah.
You know what makes that even funnier though?
What?
The late great, it ended way too soon and way too, with so much more to tell. But Winning Time, the Lakers show on HBO, the one with John C. Reilly in it.
Yeah.
The first episode, they have a reference to Airplane. It's great, where the guy playing Kareem Abdul-Jabbar, they recreate it, and then at the end of the scene, he goes into like his dressing room, and the actor who plays the kid in it, follows him and says, I know we were just doing a scene there, because, but Mr. Abdul-Jabbar, I really do think you're the greatest. Will you sign my Wheaties box or something? And he goes, man, fuck off, kid. Just like, shit. By the way, another movie that I liked more than most, The Underdogs with 2 G's. I thought it was funny.
I'm gonna watch that here pretty soon. I'm really excited.
But I also love Snoop Dogg and forgive most sins of Snoop Dogg. I'm one of the few motherfuckers who actually thought Soul Plane was kind of funny. Mainly because.
I like Snoop Dogg, so.
But here's the thing, Snoop Dogg, the best scene in even people who hate Soul Plane, the funniest scene is with Snoop Dogg, which is when he's flying the plane and he's like, he has the joke about how he goes, man, like my baby mama been hitting me up again, or something. He's talking, he goes, I gotta tell you something. If I fly this into the nearest mountain, that bitch isn't getting one damn cent. And he starts lifting the plane up, and everybody's freaking out. And he goes, just kidding. I was just like, oh my god.
That's funny.
That was funny.
All right.
Anyway, but yeah, we're done. Take care of yourself. Love you all. Appreciate you all. Follow us, like, subscribe, do all the things. Now here's the question: what did you think of Argylle? Did you like the movie? Did you hate the movie? I think my opinion's good. I think we're full of shit. Ponto. Comment below. Let me know. Or if you want to give Ponto shit for continuing to fly the flag for Chicken Run 2. Come on, bro. It's not that good.
Oh, fuck off, man.
Comment below, let me know. And until we meet again, which in our case, we will be back together very, very soon if I didn't just kill the friendship right now. On Sunday for the best films of 2023, of which Chicken Run 2 will not be, at least on mine. I doubt it will be on yours either. But maybe it's on another list that's coming right after. I wonder.
We'll just see about that.
And all the movies I mentioned. Yeah. So that's all coming up, and yeah. Take care, everyone. See you around. Take care. Bye. If we went another 49 minutes, I want to point out, if we went another 49 minutes, we would have been the runtime. Our whole review would have been the runtime of Argylle. All right, take care. Bye.